We're going back to Minnesota. What the fuck? No, we're not. We're headed to Davos.
What?
Where the World Economic Forum is being held this week, and one of the speakers, the president of Argentina, steps up and says, the only way to save the West is Roman law,
Hold up.
Greek philosophy,
Wait a minute.
and Judeo-Christian values.
It's true.
I'm Giles Berganzo on this. Common sense.
What?
I hear it's making a comeback.
Brilliant!
But it's what's next.
And here we go.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Giles Berganzo, what's next? Your daily dose. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this Thursday. And we're heading back to Minnesota. No, we're not. There's a lot of Minnesota nonsense that's been going on this entire week. Actually, the last 3 weeks, especially with Don Lemon running around acting the ass. And I hear charges are being pressed against him. Yeah, I hope he goes to jail. Anyway, we're going to take a step out of Minnesota, out of the United States, and we're headed all the way across the other side of the planet to Davos. Yes, home of the World Economic Forum. Remember Colonel Klink? You know, it looked like Dr. Evil. I'm going to rule the world, with all this, reset and shit like that. Well, things have kind of changed a little bit in Davos since those days. And what was that? A couple years ago? Anyway, Donald Trump is there, along with many world leaders, including the man from Argentina, President Milei. So he stepped up to talk. He said, you know what? The West is dying. The reason why the West is dying is because of Islam, is because of nonsensical garbage like we see on a daily basis that's killing the UK and what have you. The only way to save the West is Roman law, Greek philosophy, and Judeo-Christian values. Common sense. What a concept. And here we go. This comes out of Breitbart. Javier Milei at Davos. Greek philosophy, Roman law, and Judeo-Christian values is the key to saving the West. President of Argentina, Javier Milei, warned at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, Wednesday that the West must once again embrace Greek philosophy, Roman law, and Judeo-Christian values to escape our dark present. Milei spoke at Davos for the third time as head of state, delivering a scathing condemnation of socialism in his 24th speech, of course, and a fiery rejection of woke ideology, an epidemic that must be cured, and the cancer must be eradicated in his 25 speech. Gee, how can he top that? The Argentine president, who once again condemned socialism throughout his speech, referred to his previous two addresses at WEF and said that unlike those two occasions, 26 a year is where we brought good news. The world has begun to wake up, and the best proof of this is what's happening in America with the rebirth of ideas and freedom, he stated. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I think I'm just going to play bits and pieces. Let me see. Can I? And yeah, let's kick it off right here.
Stand here before you to state categorically that Machiavelli is dead. For years, our thinking was distorted by the presentation of a false dilemma in the design of public policies, one in which we were supposedly faced with a choice between political efficiency on the one hand and respect for the ethical and moral values of the West on the other. As Professor Jesus Huerta de Soto points out in his work on dynamic efficiency, from that perspective, efficiency is not compatible with various schemes of equity or justice, but rather arises solely and exclusively from one of them, the one based on respect for private property and the entrepreneurial function. Therefore, the opposition between the dimensions of efficiency and justice is false and erroneous. That is to say, what is just can't be inefficient, nor can what is efficient be unjust. Actually,
Okay, I'm not gonna play the entire thing. It's I would say it's more like 30, 35 minutes long, so you can catch it on YouTube. But just for the highlights, Milei opened his speech by declaring Machiavelli is dead, stressing that for years our thinking was distorted by a president with a false dilemma, with designing public policies where we had to choose between political efficiency and ethical and moral values of the West. Quote, therefore, the opposition for the dimensions of efficiency and fairness are false and erroneous. That is, that what's fair cannot be inefficient, nor what can be efficient be unfair. From the perspective of dynamic analysis, fairness and efficiency are two sides of the same coin, he said. And they accused this guy of being a total dummy when he became president of Argentina. CNN, anyone? Yeah. Milei also warned that setting aside ethical and moral values that leads to policies that not only unjust but also lead to social and economic collapse to such an extent that we could end up destroying the West civilization itself. He referred to his 24 and 25 WEF speeches where he denounced socialist policies, elegantly packaged in a deceiving way of noble souls full of good intentions, but with the same catastrophic results as always. Without going any further than the continuous disasters caused by socialism during the 20th century, let us look at the aberrant damage caused in Venezuela, not only by 80% of drop of the GDP, but even worse, in the light of establishment of a bloody narco dictatorship whose terrorist tentacles spread throughout the continent, Milei said. He warned that in the face of ethical and moral degradation of the West caused by embracing socialistic agendas, it's necessary to revive the idea of freedom, stressing that unlike the unitarian approach taken in the past, the defense of capitalist free enterprise must be based on ethical and moral virtues. Dude is like dropping hammers of wisdom. Quote, therefore, this implies that if we want to escape our dark present, we must return to drawing inspiration from Greek philosophy, embrace Roman law, and return to Judeo-Christian values, which will enable us to save the West. Let me go a little bit further. Let's see. He mentions the Torah. Moses confronted Pharaoh, symbolizing of oppressive power in the state. Let's see. Cool. Okay, let me finish off with this. Quote, therefore, America will be the beacon of light that will reignite the entire Western world and therefore repay its debt to civilization with expressions of gratitude to its foundations in Greek philosophy, Roman law, and Judeo-Christian values, he concluded. We have a better future ahead of us, but that future will only exist if we return to the roots of the West, that is, returning to the ideas of freedom. Like I said, it's I watched it, and dude was just dropping hammers. I mean, you want to talk not just gems of wisdom, but I mean shit that should be taught in college. Unfortunately, at colleges, we're taught to indoctrinate, and our kids are turning out to be dummies. Anyway, when you had President Milei first come in as president of Argentina, 3 years ago, he cleaned house. He absolutely cleaned house. His foreign administration, gone. His economic advisors, gone. He wiped the slate clean. I mean, literally, he took a sledgehammer to that country, and he's flipped it around. Now, you got those on the left going, oh, he's a dictator himself. Oh my gosh, he won't let... No, his country is capitalist. It used to be socialist. It's now capitalist. And he provides the information that's needed to have other countries do the same, to be better than themselves and in previous past. I got to disagree with the United States, though. Because with the U.S., unfortunately, we have seen an influx, a massive cancer, if you will, of Islam in this country. Texas, anyone? New York, anyone? Virginia, anyone? Michigan, anyone? California, anyone? Illinois, anyone? We have seen everywhere from Dearborn all the way down to parts of Virginia that have embraced Islam. We had a city, the greatest city in this country, one time, New York, elect a Islamic mayor, 24 years removed from 9/11. Then there's the UK. The UK has gotten cancerified with Islam for the better part of the last decade. We've seen crime explode in that country to the lengths that we have never seen, and we've seen a pussy of a prime minister who doesn't have the balls enough to call out spades and to go after these grooming motherfuckers. But Milei's based. And sadly, it's a shame that we don't have more Mileis in this country. And with that being said, I'm Giles Berganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching as always. And we'll see you next time. Peace.